Okay, so let's get started. As I just will take 1 or 2 minutes to just let you know about the PMwares and myself, as I think I've already introduced you as such. So these are the services which we provide as part of PMwares, the setting up and standardizing the project management processes, setting up the PMO, or if somebody want to outsource the PMO, they want somebody else to monitor their projects or help out their projects. Help in setting up the enterprise project management system like project server, Primavera and other things. Coach and vendor managers. Often we get into consulting with the people. This is one of the things which we do. And guide and support the changes. So once you implement the lot of changes in the workplace and then help them out how the people can easily adopt to this change. Okay, these are the trainings which we normally do. Project management fundamentals, advanced project management, Microsoft project, PMP certification, function point analysis, and some soft skills, essential soft skills for project managers. So there are a lot of HR trainings are happening in the soft skills, but our focus is project manager. Okay, so let us get started with project management framework. This project management framework covers first 3 chapters of PMBOK. First 3 chapters of PMBOK it covers. Normally it is a 4 days program, but let me tell you that how we're going to distribute this here. First day we will do mainly project management framework, the project management processes, and we'll go up to PMP exam overview. Okay, tomorrow we will take up the project integration management and the scope management. Then we will talk about the time management, the cost management. I think you have a schedule and the which is published. We'll go as per that. Okay, so the first slide in this, because we are all talking about project management, my question to you is, what is a project? The definition you see on the slide is actually taken from PMBOK, but I would like to hear from you what really it means to you. When we say temporary, when we say unique, product, service, what really it means? What is the practical definition of the project? Can anyone like to contribute here? Feel free to contribute. You can speak, please speak. You can write down in the chat box as well. Use either of the mode. Even one activity also you can, say project. It is from the start to end. Yes, why not? Any other? to manage and run the project smoothly with maintain the quality and time. Okay, but what is project? That is maybe probably you're talking about project management. But what is a project? I think Anil and Prashant have some idea because they have already attended MS project training. There also we discuss the same type of thing. It's very important for us to understand these basic things, to be like more able to understand the rest of the stuff. Actually, we all know about it. It's just a matter of articulation or matter of right understanding. There are a lot of broader understanding is very easily there, but accurate understanding is not there. Something which we deliver to client based on time and cost. Okay, so client based and to deliver within time and cost. So it is, you're talking about the something product, service or result, right? An activity which we undertake to perform. Okay, right? It is necessary to understand the concepts and logic of the project management. That's right. See, basically, you see here it is project is temporary and it producing something unique product, service or result. So 2-3 things are important here. Unique means it has not happened earlier. Absolutely right. The team, clients, all are dependent on planning. So unique means something which has not happened earlier. So let's take an example. Suppose there is a product and it has to be rolled out. Let's say there is a software product. We have 2-3 people from software industry. This is a software product. The product is there. You have rolled out for say A. For client A and client B. Same product, no customization. Out of the box, whatever is available is rolled out for A and rolled out for B. Tell me, are they two projects? If no, why not? And if yes, why? There is a product, no customization for client A and client B. Clients are different. Okay. What else? Okay, so clients are different, that bring the uniqueness. So product not necessarily be unique. If the clients are different, it creates the uniqueness in the product. The outcome is different. I will say even the implementation method is same. The same thing is happening for two clients. Two clients cannot be same. They are different and they remain different. What else? Suppose there are two bridges to be constructed from A to B and from C to D, from place, or say on river A and on river B. Are they two different projects? If there is style, everything is same, but they are the bridge on two different rivers. Client is also same in this case. Suppose you are contracted to PWD and you're constructing these bridges. Are they same project or different projects? Here the even client is same. Product is same. Exactly same bridge. Different projects. Quite obviously. My question is not are they different. My question is why they are different. What is making them different? What is bringing this uniqueness? Different location. How it will make it different? What is because of different location happening? I'm saying let's technical aspects are not different. They are same. It's an iron bridge, a smaller one. You have already manufactured in your shade. Two are alike. You put one on river A, you put on second on river B. Yes, right. So because A and B are different environmental constraint, it may pose us a different kind of environmental constraint. The people around are different. Do you think beneficiaries are same? Your client is same, PWD, but beneficiaries are not same. They are two different rivers at two different locations, so the beneficiaries are different and for the different purpose. Even the beneficiaries are same. It is in the same village for the same villagers, but their two needs are different. So it is addressing two different needs. So what I'm trying to bring up here, uniqueness does not mean you are producing something very different, but you are doing the same thing for different people. It will make it different. If you are benefiting the different type of people or different set of people, it is different. Road from A to B and B to C may be different because it may impact different people. You may face different challenges. At location A, people may welcome your project, but the same project on location B, the people are different. They may not welcome you. On one place, you may get support. On the other place, you may get resistance. Right? So uniqueness doesn't mean that the product is different. service exactly different, but it is done for different people, different locations, done by different set of people, stakeholders are different, then the project become different. What is temporary? Temporary means definite start and definite end. It is the thing which is not ongoing. Project is not ongoing. What is ongoing thing? What we call, which is normally an ongoing thing. What we normally term it? Process. Okay. But process can be in project also. Project management is also a process. Project is temporary. But there is something like this. It doesn't end anywhere. Or it is something like that. You keep moving like this on the same path. Oh, change is constant, right? That is right, but that is not the purpose here. Your statement is right. Change is constant, but that is not what we are actually like talking about here. So I'm talking about the operations. You started a project. Suppose my favorite example, that there is a bottling company and it's decided to launch a new bottle. Okay, water bottling company, just water. Okay, so they decided to launch a new bottle. So project started from here. What is the objective of the project? To come out with a new design of bottle, because the contents are same. What is the duration of this project? Maybe 3 months, maybe 6 months, whatever it is, based on the objectives of the project. But after some time, you come out with the bottle, right? Now, after that, what happens? You manufacture these bottles every day in thousands or lakhs of quantity. Are they unique product? In a carton of bottle, you pick up any bottle, it will solve the same purpose. Anybody can pick up and solve the same purpose. That means none of these products are unique. They are all same, because they are not doing anything different. So our uniqueness is lost. We are producing same thing again and again and again every day, and we don't know when this manufacturing will end. We don't know when this manufacturing will end. So what is the beauty of the project? When you start the project, you know when you need to finish. At least you have a tentative date. But in the operations you have started, you don't know when it's going to end, at least at the time of start. So uniqueness is lost, temporariness is lost, and that is called operation. That is called operations. So every project, if you see this process, every project, when it closes, when it comes to end, it transitions the outcome to an operation. If it is a software project, the product will go into production support. If it is a building, bridge, any construction thing, goes into maintenance. If it is a product, manufacturable product, it will go to the production. All these are operations, right? Temporary should not be confused with the short. Right? Now, what is project management? What is project management? Anyone? Tell me your definition of project management. What you really think a project management it is? Okay, so Anil says managing all involved resources, technical details, etc. Right? Anybody else? See, what you see on the screen is a definition or the like getting insight into the project management. But I want to understand, I want to bring something which is actually above that, even more basic than this, more a context. No? Having different cycle from start to end. Okay. See, look, every project has normally two type of activities. One are technical, others are managerial. For example, building an architecture. Okay. Doing a design. building architecture, design or construction. In case of software coding, in case of like actual manufacturing in situation, designing the product and building a prototype. Right? In the same area, on the managerial side, what we do? Planning, right? Bringing resources, managing them means dealing with them, dealing with resources, actually defining what, when, who, where, quality. If you see anything here, architecture, if you see here, take architecture, what, when, who, where and what type quality. Design, again decide on this. Construction, again for every deliverable. So here there are more technical deliverables, all are technical deliverables. For every technical deliverables, you need to define what, when, who, where, quality, how much, right? So these are the technical aspect and these are a manager aspect. If you see how many resources you need for coding or construction, comparing to the resources required for management, the number of resources required here and number of resources required to do this, this, this and this. In a typical 10 team members team, you may find one project manager, right? Or maybe if I say some of the people in the team also contributing on project management side, it could be the contribution could go from 10% to 15%, probably 20%. So 80-20 principles runs here as well. This stuff make the 80% of the project or it consumes 80% of the efforts in the project, while this stuff consumes 20% of the project efforts. In spite of that, several research and studies have revealed that this 80% lead to only 20% of the problems, and this 20% lead to 80% of the problems in the project. If we can focus on this 20%, there's a fair chances that technical stuff will go well. We will not even face these 20%. I often give this example that in the middle of construction, if you find that architecture is wrong, it's not a technical problem, it's a manager problem. Why? Because architecture is wrong or architecture is not addressing complete requirements or the standard a project expect, because architect may not be competent. He might have not understood requirements properly. That is again an incompetency of the architecture. That looks like a technical stuff, but Who bought the architect? Bringing resources is a managerial work. If the project manager has bought the right architect, the architecture would be right. Probably you can say that getting the right resources on the project is one of the biggest challenge. Probably you're right that you can say that I can bring a little less capable architect because that's the only person available. But who is stopping me to find out the difference between expectation of the project and the architect's competency? Can I understand the gap? Can I schedule some training? Can I bring some assistance? Can I facilitate something to the architect to fill this gap? If I would have done this as a project manager, I'm sure that architects wouldn't be having any problem. Anil, you are not getting the voice? So when we try to do all these things, we do initiation to planning, execution, monitoring and controlling. We define the scope, quality, schedule, budget, resources, risk, managing all this. But this is all about 20% effort in the project. The projects can be grouped together. They can be organized in this fashion. We can have portfolios, we can have programs, we can have projects. Now, program is also a group and portfolio is also a group. What's the difference? The difference between program and portfolio, both are group of projects. This is also a group of projects. And this is also a group of projects. Right? Both are group of projects. What's the difference? Anybody look for it? Any opinion? What's the difference? Area. They have different areas. I think probably not. It's not about areas. Any other guess? So you are free to make guesses as such. I would say nothing. There is nothing wrong in guessing. We are all here to learn. We're just trying to do some brainstorming and trying to see if we can have different perspective, common beliefs in different areas. What is portfolio? What is programs? Program is upgrading to staff member. Okay. See, what is the portfolio and program? The idea is, in the program, we club projects which have some similarity. The projects that have some similarities, we bring them together. Similarity means managing them together is much more efficient than managing them separately. There should be some synergy. I mean to say, if the client is same, 3 projects for same client, if we bring them together and manage as a program, don't you think it will be more efficient, more effective? Even starting a new project will be much more effective, because you do need not to learn several things about the client, because that knowledge is already there, part of the program. So bringing projects together which have something common, like client is common, technology is common, maybe some resources are shared, something which is making it easy to manage together than actually manage them separately. So here the objective is efficiency, synergy. So here the objective is efficiency and synergy. While here in the portfolio, the objective of the portfolio is to achieve an organization objective. Achieve an organization objective, even if there is nothing common among them. But maybe a domain is, it never happens that there is nothing common in them. The organization has an objective that they want to penetrate into a new domain. Let's say in an insurance domain, or let's say in the government domain, or let's say we are currently constructing buildings, we want to move into bridges. What does that mean? That any project for any client with any technology, if the project objective is to contribute in that area, that will come into this portfolio. So what will happen? This portfolio may contain the programs or projects, so all the projects which are contributing to this specific objective. So this is specific objective, and if some of the projects are being done for the same client, they will become a program, and therefore portfolio may contain a program. Some projects may be standalone, they don't have anything common, they may be separate. Maybe some projects may be using a specific technology for bridges. So all those projects may be clubbed together and form a program under this portfolio. But all these things are contributing to one objective of the portfolio. Right? So let's do one thing. It's 8 o'clock right now. I think it's the time. We are overdue on the break. Can we take a break for half an hour now and come back by 8:30? Means in half an hour. Okay, so we will resume at 8:30 a.m. IST. Okay, you need not to log off. You may log off and log in again, that's not a problem, but not necessarily. So next things in this course is Project Management Office. What's Project Management Office? A Project Management Office is a support function which help project manager in almost everything. Starting the project, initiating a project, planning the project, supporting with the guidelines, templates, help in execution, collecting data, generating reports, highlighting issues, warning project managers, facilitating actions on the issues, compiling reports, providing it to the various stakeholders, seeing that the issues are being addressed, if not escalating the matter to the senior officials, asking them to look into the issues so that timely manner things can be resolved, generating reports, analyzing projects, at the time of closure, helping project manager to close the project and come out with the lesson learned. So on each and every stage of the project life cycle, PMO support project managers to plan, execute, report, and close the project. But Project Management Office, the PMO, is a support function. It does not take action. It warns, it highlights, it suggests, facilitate, but action has to be taken by the project managers, team members, supervisors, or bosses, or the senior management. PMO is a support function, it facilitates. But the way PMO is being or has been implemented in different organizations, its type, rule, etc. is very different. It's very differently integrated. In many places, PMO only manage common resources, shared resources, and many places this is one extreme. On the other extreme, PMO does everything which I explained just now. Okay, So, and between these there are various flavors of PMO in different organizations differently, and therefore many times, because there are so many flavors, the way it is implemented, many times this PMO term become little confusing. Operations and project, I think we have already discussed about it. What is the role of the project manager? The role of the project manager, or what is project manager? The project manager is defined with these three things. The project management competencies, the first thing is knowledge, is understanding, knowing what project manager is all about, what is project management framework, what the responsibilities and everything about it. Then the performance, executing things, demonstrating that the knowledge, implementation of the knowledge, and the personalized skills, or the personal skills, or they say soft skills, I would say, attitude, etc. These things are as such common, but they are very important for the project manager as well. Now, few things will come again and again in the various chapter in all the tools and techniques and inputs and outputs of the various processes. One is organization process assets and the enterprise environmental factors. But before we move into that, we look at this, how the organization are structured, and this structure, the way organization form, the organization structure, the organization style, the organization culture, how it impact the execution of the project. Now look at this. We have two extreme. One is here and second is here. On one side we have projectized organizations. The structure of the organization is focused on projects and only projects. That means the people are there, so sitting on a bench. You can see the people are recruited, they're sitting on the bench. Okay, they may have different skills, different the knowledge, different domains, etc. When a project is constituted, project manager is assigned, and the people from pool, they attend the project. So they come from diversified background and form a project. This project runs. During this project, these people belong to projects and they in the complete authority of project manager. When project closes, these people go back to the bench, or we call free pool, etc. They don't have anything to do as such until they assign to the other project. So either people are working on a project or they are free. On the other side, in the functional organization, there are various streams, and people normally fall in one of these streams, and every stream is called a function. A typical project management consultancy is this type. A typical software startup. Startup means the company of 100, 200 people. Those people, those organizations are mainly projectized. The company is only doing construction for the other big vendors for the various building, etc. They are also projectized. Either people are there on the projects or they are nowhere. On the other side, a pharmaceutical company, like, these are the functions. Various government organizations also work in a similar functions. So they have a different stream, probably in the pharmaceutical, maybe technology wise, maybe domain wise. So in many organizations, it may be, maybe manufacturing companies can also be like that. They are different products, different segments. The people join a function, and in many cases they spend their life in the same function moving up. Sometimes they have a transition, but transition means leaving one function and joining other function. It doesn't mean that you are cross-functional. So in this, what happens when the project comes? The people are there available for projects, so they are made available to project. They remain in their authority. But when a project come in the functional organization, then people do not leave their function, but they contribute for the project. One functional manager becomes the project manager, but that person also stays in the function. So nobody leaves the function, they remain in the function, but also contribute for the project. And therefore we see in the functional organization, project manager is a part-time job, and project managers has little authority because this project manager doesn't have authority on these resources. Maybe he has authority on his own resources, but not the other resources. Resource availability, these people, because belong to the function, more loyal to function than the project. When there is a conflict or there is a contest between the time between the function and the project, they prefer function. And therefore resource availability is a challenge. Who controls the budget? Functional manager, who being given as a role of the project manager. Normally project manager function is part-time. Administrators staff is also part-time because they are not meant for project, they are meant for the functions. Similar to this, their administrative staff also contribute part-time. Communication is streamlined because everything is functional driven. On the other side, everything is projectized. So every resource come and they become the project. They're part of the project. Here they remain part of function. Here they are nowhere except the part of the project. They are in complete authority of project managers. So the project manager's authority is high and final almost. Resource availability is high because they remain in the project. Project managers, who control the project budget? Project manager. Project manager's role is full-time for that part, dedicated for that project. Administrative staff is provided, then remain part of the project. It's not a shared one. And communication is again streamlined because everything is focused on project. Now talk about the matrix. Weak matrix, strong matrix, balanced matrix. Sometimes if you talk about matrix, only matrix without any adjective, then it is actually a balanced matrix. Okay, so matrix organization means a balanced matrix organization. Now what happens? A functional organization get a flavor of project. Means there is a little focus on the project also. Okay, some authority can be given to the project manager. Resources are assigned part-time to the project. So it's not just a social work, but it is a committed work. So it remain there, but it's still limited. Functional manager has to do his job also, so remain part-time. But communication, because of the two roles and both roles are committed, the communication become complex. On the other side, projectized organization become little functional. If IT organization become little bigger, they start forming functions like the like the function for addressing the user interface part. Maybe business analyst, another group. Maybe some technology wise also they become that, okay, database technology, open source technology, Microsoft technology, these become separate group, they become function. And the projectized company take a shape of a strong matrix. Most of the big IT companies are basically strong matrix organization. Many very big organizations are basically balanced matrix, where the people's part is on the both sides. So the revenue is driven by projects, but project cannot happen without the function. So maybe the project manager is full-time. The authority is also there, but the people who come to the projects come from the function. So in this there is a project and there are functions, right? The people are here. When the project starts, they come to this part, and when the project closes, they go back to their function. They go back to their functions. That means the people are reporting to project manager here and also remain part of the function. So when the project is happening, they have become part of the project, but still their home is their function, and therefore a thing of dual reporting come into picture. Functional manager also have a role to play here. Project manager also have to play here. So there are too many players in a small, where it is a total authority of project managers. Here total authority of functional manager. Here both are playing role in the same area, and therefore this become complex. So how your organization is structured make a lot of difference how the project will be executed and how the communication will take place. Anytime any question, please feel free to type it in the chat box or raise hand or just speak out. Okay, now as I said, the organization process assets and enterprise environmental factors come again and again. Let's understand them for once, and then we will do not define them again. What is organization process assets? The things which are available in the organization for your use. What is that? Guidelines, any document, mainly documents, guidelines, templates, procedures, knowledge base, wikis, project wikis, historical information about the previous projects, that is the historical information as such. Organization experience being documented as part of the knowledge base, the knowledge which is contributed by the various people and available as a knowledge base. All these things are called organizational process assets. You can use them, they are facilities, but many times they are also constraints. Why? Because the organization may force their guidelines, templates. They will do not allow you to use any other. Similarly, enterprise environmental factors are the factors in the organization, in the area where the organization exists, the state where the organization exists, in the country the organization exists. Factors related to all these things influence project. So you have a client in US, your team is working in India, you have to maintain the compliance with the US regulations as well as the Indian regulation. Team sitting in India has to work as a labor law of India. You are delivering it to the US and therefore take care of the rules of the US also. In case of delivery, they should comply to the US rules. Now, you have an organization. Organization has a policy, procedures, ethics, rules and regulations within the organization. They all become part of your project. They are enforced on you also. Organization has a culture. Every organization has a different culture, and your project is executed in the same manner. So organization culture, the structure we just talked about, the government and the industry standards, the company's system, project management system, authorization system, stakeholders within the organization and their risk tolerance, political climate of the organization. So all these things are environment factors. They are not documents. They are around us in the form of software aspects, and we need to comply with them most of the time. Most of the time they are constraints, but they also be facilitated. Okay. Project has stakeholders, and these are some. Every project has stakeholders, and stakeholder management is very, very important part of a project. What you're seeing is a sample or is a very small list of the stakeholders. Forget about being an exhaustive list. These all are stakeholders, and many more can be stakeholders. We will learn more about the stakeholders management in stakeholder management chapter. Now, project runs in 5 phases. Normally, they are divided into 5 phases. It starts from initiation. Initiation is normally very small phase. Basically, what we do is conceptualize the project, which will come in the form of project charter as a deliverable at the end of initiation phase. We move to the planning. The concept which we have, the things which we have conceptualized in initiation, we try to put up a detailed plan which will realize this concept into reality, which will turn the concept into reality. The plan for converting the concept into reality. And this will come as a project plan, as a deliverable of the planning process. As we understood that in a typical 10-member project team, only one project managers, others are doing technical stuff. Here is where these people come on board and they actually produce deliverables. So your most of this valley shows that most of the efforts are spent during execution where actual deliverables are produced. Okay, Utsav asked where the RFP comes in these stage. Okay, the RFP actually a pre-start of the project. So RFP for this project is a pre-sales and sales activity. But when the RFP come into picture is that when you want to outsource a part of the project to the external agency, then you have to create a RFP for procuring that service, and that RFP is part of this project and will come into picture in the procurement management. Is that fine? Once the execution, in the execution you implement plan and produce deliverables. You do monitoring and controlling also so that things happen on time. And once your deliverables are ready, you are delivered, you come to the closer where you transition the outcome of the project to the operations and do a lesson learned meeting and then archive the all complete projects. So project archival is it closes with the project archival, while the execution closes with the delivery of acceptance of the delivery. In the beginning, stakeholder influence is high. Uncertainty in the project is also high because you know little about the project, and the cost of the change is low because you haven't produced anything. But as you move into the project, you produce deliverables, you put efforts in the project, your cost of change increases because if any change come now, it will be more costly because you have to make changes in all the things which you have produced. And this may be another reason for stakeholder influence coming down. As we move into the project, we come to know more and more about the project, and therefore uncertainty come down also. Now from initiation to the closure, you see there are all the processes in the projects are divided into 5 project processes, and in a single phase project, the project goes from initiation to the closure. So project conceptualize, put in the planning, execute, it goes through the cycle of execution. Monitoring means finding the plan versus actual gap and then taking corrective measures, that is controlling, and then replanning, changing in the plan, and the cycle keep going on once all the deliverables are produced and accepted, and then we move into the closing part. This is simple for one single phase project. But in a multi-phase project, which is normally common, it is normally the project goes through this kind of phases like requirement design, constructions, verification, deployment, or commissioning. Okay, so there could be 2 things, the sequential phase or overlapping phase. Overlapping phase are most common because in normal cases, before the requirement get closed, you start the design phase, which is this, the lower part. right, which is this one, and design completely closes before that the construction starts, and so on. Now before we move, you see that every phase has this cycle. Initiation to the closure means for every phase we need to plan the initiation, that what is required to start this phase, the plan of this phase, execution of this phase, controlling this phase for happening on time, and producing the deliverables which are required by the next phase. So closing process ensure that we have deliverables by the end of this phase to start the new phase. And to check this, we have something called phase exit or phase gates or decision gates or stage gates or kill point. They are all synonymous. They all mean same. Checking before starting the next phase, before closing the before previous phase, that this previous phase has produced deliverables which are required to initiate the next phase. This can happen in the overlapping phases also, or in the sequential discrete phase also. But these decision points, kill points are important. Otherwise you may face, if we move ahead without ensuring that enough deliverables are there, we may face problems in the design phase or next phase, and this may get delayed because of that. Therefore this is very important that we should check before starting the next project. You could have a checklist. That's absolutely right. Okay, we go to the project management processes. I already explained you that what they do mean. Now look at this. This is the overlapping of, okay, one minute. This is overlapping. It shows that when a process starts and when it ends, because they normally overlap to each other. They are not very discrete. So initiation start, it goes for some time when planning actually start maturing. Okay, the planning starts after some time of initiation, goes till our deliverables are start getting accepted by the client. So it goes, it is a long process actually. It is not a one-time process, it's a continuous process. So this phase, if you see from here to here, shows that cycle point, the planning, execution, monitoring and control, all this cycle. But monitoring starts as soon as the project starts and goes till end. Project closure starts when we start completing our deliverables and getting accepted by the client. So they are not discrete in nature, they overlap to each other. So the PMI has two dimensions of segregating the project management processes. One is initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, and closure. On the other side, it has another dimension we call knowledge area. Process groups and knowledge area. And knowledge area means we're talking about what to be done, that is scope management, when to be done, that is time management, and how much we need to do is the cost management, who will do is resource management. Let all the people Identify all the people connected with the project. Identify all the people connected with the project. Keep communicating with them, letting them know how we are doing, what is our future plan, if there is any problem or not. Maintaining the quality of the project and program. Anything to be outsourced which is part of this project. So a small portion of the, suppose we are developing a product, one piece of the product is we do not have the capabilities and we decided to outsource, give it to the external organization. In that case, that is called procurement. And in that case, RFP, etc. all come into picture. And the risk management, that is uncertainty management, that is looking for in the future and see what can impact the project and planning for it. Now, these things these 10 bubbles you are seeing, when they overlap with the other dimension, initiation to the closure, these things to be done all the time from initiation to the closure. That means from initiation, starting from the charter, we need to do scope, time, cost, as and when what is required from initiation to the closure. We need to take care of all these things in an integrated fashion. That means every other hand know that what other hands are doing, and that is where the project manager's primary responsibility is, called integration management. That is the project manager's primary. Project manager can delegate any other thing to any other team members, but cannot delegate the integration. That is ensuring all are in sync. The things which supposed to happen on a different at a point of time, they are happening on those point of time. They are coming together at the right time when they are required. These things are primary responsibility of project managers. If project manager delegate this work, that is the integration, delegate, then the project management work is delegated. It does not matter what is your title is. Whomsoever doing integration management is actually the real project manager. Okay, what Utsav is saying, but if I am conducting a project without giving to third party, is RFQ required? No. RFP is not required. Most of the software projects do not go into procurement altogether. Most of the software projects, most of the software project manager even do not know what is called procurement. And most of the non-software project manager can't do without procurement. It's almost a must for manufacturing and construction, and it is almost not required in the software project. So it mapped like this. We have initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, control. Also a column represent this column, the first column initiation, second column planning, third column this. And horizontally we are seeing that integration management have 6 processes. One is in integration, one is project charter, is a part of initiation. Second is planning, third is execution, 2 are part of monitoring and control, and 6th one is part of the closing process. Project scope management has 4 processes in planning and 2 processes in monitoring and control. Similarly, in the time management, 6 processes are in planning, 1 is in control. Cost also 3 in planning, in control. You will see that in the execution, most of the stuff, like in the human resource, 1 is planning and 3 processes are in execution. So during execution, project manager's responsibility will primarily be to take care of the human resource, ensure the quality, and communicate with the stakeholders. That is also human resource. The people. So dealing with the people. This is dealing with the people. This is dealing with the people. And you see in the risk there is mainly planning and controlling. And in the stakeholder management also, you will see that stakeholder management is also people related. So it starts from initiation, where I identify stakeholders, manage stakeholders, engage them, and control their engagement. And similarly, procurement management come into picture if you have to outsource something or take services from outside of the organization. So this is initiation process. We have only two processes in initiation. First, we create a project charter, and then we identify all the stakeholders in the project. The planning process is the most crowded space. Most crowded space. And that says that most of the effort of the project manager should go into planning the project, and that is absolutely true. Most of the project managers try to skip the planning or shorten that phase. They're tempted with the execution and deliver fast, and in this temptation they actually mess up the things. So if you reduce the planning process group, or if you fast track the planning, you have to spend a lot of time in monitoring and control and execution. So every segment, every knowledge area has something in the planning process. Nothing works without planning. Execution, if you see, this is people related, this is people related, this is people related. Out of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 processes, 5 processes are actually human resource related, that is people related. 2, one is quality and second is the procurement related. So directing and managing the project execution mean dealing with the people and motivating them to do the work and support you. So in the case of stakeholders, they should support us. Managed communication means managing the stakeholders' expectations, how we can satisfy them so that they remain loyal to our projects. Monitoring control also have at least one process in all the areas. While in the planning there are 3, 4, 5, and 6 process in all the areas. In controlling you will find one area, because controlling is nothing but looking back at the planning and seeing that what changes we can make to keep the project on time and budget. Closing process also has 2 processes. So closing the project we also call administrative process. Administrative closure, we also call it administrative closure. We also call it administrative closure. But before we do administrative closure, because procurement is part of the project, we have to close the procurement first. So procurement is normally a small project within the project. We have to close that project first before we close the project. Everything in the project should be closed before we close the project. Right? So our first module is done. what we can do now is, you all have handouts. In the back side of the handouts, let me see if I can open and show you. If you have any question, let me know. In the handout, you go to page number 283. Let me try to show you. Can you open the handouts and go to the page number in the PDF? On the PDF bar, you will see that there is a page number. You can directly go to 283 page number 283. Don't know how much time it will take to display. But are you able to go to page number 283, where the project management framework is written? You all right? Anil, you too, right? Okay. So these are the 15 questions. Let's attempt these questions. So next 10 minutes with you. I don't think it will take more time than that. The simple ones. So attempt these questions, and when you are done, just type in the chat box that you are done, and then we will go through all these 15 questions and we will see if there is any confusion. We will discuss it. What we will do actually, wherever we have a difference of opinion, we will discuss those questions. That is, if one person marked A, other person marked B, so there is a difference of opinion, right? Such questions we will discuss, and if all have marked the right question, right answer, then we will just pass it. Will that work? So let's attempt these 15 questions. This is what